project that I worked on downtown, Flora Field, in the courtyard of the Wainwright building. Flora Field is part of the Insight STL design competition, and the call asked for artists to propose a project that could bring new ways of seeing downtown St. Louis. That I wanted to think about terracotta and ornament and reference the Wainwright, which in architecture school, it's one of the first buildings that you study. Sullivan is often referred to as the father of the modern skyscraper. And I loved the story of bricks in St. Louis and all of the beautiful ornamental details. And so that was something I was really interested in trying with the ceramic printing, is making my own bricks really, and looking at how we could use the digital tools to think about new ways of making or designing ornament on the bricks. I had done a lot of work in digital fabrication and 3D printing, and had seen people 3D printing with clay, and it was something I was really interested in. When you typically think of 3D printing with plastic or PLA, that's the small, desktop printers that you can buy for around $100. The first 3D printers that used clay were actually hacked versions. What I'm using is something called a Potterbot. Each print is made up of sort of multiple intersecting parts that you'll see on the printer. So I already modeled it. That's kind of typically what I'll do, is I'll use a program called Rhino, and also a program that works with it called Grasshopper, which is for scripting. So the G-code directions will tell the printer everything from stopping and starting to moving up and down, or on the different axes, depending on how the file is working. Around 10 inches by 10 inches, which really comes from, we kind of maxed out the amount of clay that we could put in the printer and the largest size that we could print. Really, if you look at how it's printing a line. And so with this design, also the three intersecting parts actually make the piece stronger. We had to think about how the pieces would work structurally. So we devised a system that really works a lot like the game Connect 4. Then the pieces just slide down. There's a notch here, and then they slide down around the steel. We added a little bit of silicone to hold them in place, and then each piece just slid down and stacked on top of each other. In the end, it's made me sort of rethink the idea about precision in architecture and how we can kind of think about having a more loose fit, or not be so fixated on everything fitting perfectly. I think that that also contributes to material waste. So it's a way to sort of reframe how we might think about precision that's often thought of for architecture.